Welcome back, everybody. My name is Tiffany. Thank you for joining me today. So last video, I talked about how to find emails that you could send to other people. This video, I'm going to show you the format I use for the emails that I send to people so that I could receive a response back and get things started. So let's do this. Let's just jump into it. All right. I don't want this video to go on too long. You guys are just ready for the facts. The facts of the matter are, last video, I looked up Netflix. I found an email for a recruiter from Netflix. And at this point, all I have now, I've filled in a few things and I'm going to go over those with you right now. So we have the email. I always, in the subject line, I like to put the actual job name. I also tend to add this, application for, and then whatever the job name is. Now, if you're not doing a job, then you could specifically state what you're looking for. So if you want to connect with this person to learn more about X, Y, and Z, then you could kind of put that in the title of the email. Just whatever you're doing, put it in the email, okay? Or the title of the email. Now, with that being said, I have that done. And here's like a little template that I normally follow. So I say, hi, whoever's name it is. In this case, it's Nicole. And then I introduce myself. Okay, they don't know who you are. So I introduce myself as my first and last name, and then I tell them what I've done so far. So in this case, I'm going to the age-old thing of applying for a job. So what I've done so far is applied for a job. Now, if you have not indeed applied for the job, go back, go through the motions of applying for that job. Make sure you've applied to it wherever you need to apply to it for. A lot of the times it's on the company website. So go apply for the job. If it's a recruiting agency, then it'll be on the recruiting agency's job board. Go apply for it first. Come back, write your email. So I'm assuming I've already applied for the job. Boom, I'm done. So I've applied for this position. Now, position in this case is going to be, do I have it saved? I do, but it's too big. All right, so I applied for this job, and if there is a job ID, I'd list it, because sometimes a lot of companies have a lot of positions. They have a lot of jobs open, and they can easily search by job ID. This one, I don't see a job ID anywhere. Just at a quick glance, I don't notice one, so I'm not going to add one here. But if there was a job ID or reference number, I'd add that there. Now, tell where you found or where you applied for this job at. In my case, I'm going to say I applied on the Netflix careers website, and then tell when you applied. If you applied yesterday, put yesterday's date. I applied December 13th, 2018, or December 31st, 2018, or whenever you apply, put that down so they know when they go back and they review your information, they're like, oh, this is the person. They said they applied this date. Got it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add some context of kind of where I found the position and what I'm wanting to get out of this email. So I saw on LinkedIn that you all were hiring for this position or this role or whatever it is, and I wanted to connect. So that's it. This is your opening line right here. It introduces who you are. It tells what you've done so far and really what you want. So at this point in time, they know I want to apply for this job. In fact, I've already applied for this job. At this point, I just need their help in figuring out who to connect to next. Like, what do I do next? So this is the beginnings of your email. The next part is why you're going to be a great fit for this position. And this is especially important for those in a tech field role, which I'm assuming most of you are interested in or you're currently pursuing. This point, I do bullet points because it's easier to read. As a recruiter, as someone who's a hiring manager, you read through a bunch of crap. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. There's a lot of stuff they got to read. The last thing they want to do is read paragraphs on paragraphs on paragraphs. So if you could condense that into like a simpler form for them to read, they're more likely to want to say, oh, let me talk to this person, because I saw on bullet point number 2 that they have X, Y, and Z skills, and we're looking for that for this role. So let's do this. In this case, you could say, I'm eager to utilize my skills in whatever tech skills that you have. And you can go ahead and say, if it's for this specific role, it's a Ruby on Rails position. They're specifically looking for some API skills to have. And they're looking basically for someone who's in a higher level position, who wants to actively contribute to a team, and who's ready to who's already contributed to open source. They're all about best practices and things like that. So what I've done is I've copied and pasted this entire job description on my own Google Doc here, and I've just highlighted a few key factors in here that's going to help me write this email just a little bit better. So a lot of it is like, hey, this is why I'm a good fit for this position, right? So the first thing they talk about is that I mentioned is some tech skills. Or our tech skills. So I said, experience building REST APIs as well as maintaining and existing them to help evolving business needs. So here you could say, I'm eager to use my skills in REST and building REST APIs to satisfy business needs. You can do that. All right. I would keep it short, to be quite honest with you. I really wouldn't get really crazy at this point. I would just say, I'm eager to use my skills in REST APIs to satisfy business needs. Just because this one is a little bit more generic. You might say Ruby on Rails, so you could say in Ruby on Rails. Sorry. And REST APIs. Or you could say skills in Ruby on Rails and building REST APIs to satisfy business needs. Boom. Right off the bat, they're like, oh, you had that experience? Cool. The next thing is you want to talk about a project you've utilized, the skills that they want to hire in, or something that you're learning, or something that you're currently building that's going to help you in this role. I know it's kind of a mouthful, but basically right then you say, hey, I've got this skill. You guys are looking for this skill. So you're basically saying, hire me because I've got this skill. So I tend to read the job description, and a lot of things that are sticking out here is a lot of open source stuff. So what I'm going to say, and I've even highlighted it here, open source contributions, is I'm going to say, hey, I have built many or some or whatever you want to put it, or you could just say I've built or I've helped, because open source is helping. So I've helped build, or just build open source projects with teams and enjoy the process. Have a look at my GitHub to see my latest project on whatever the project is. And then what you also want to do is provide the link to the project. So after you have said, here's the project, you want to provide a link. See the link here. And then you could, go back and add like a link of your project here. Boom. We got a link. Now, this third bullet point is explain why you're excited about the position. What are you most excited about? Are you excited about the people? Are you excited about the work that you're going to be doing? Have you, what is getting you excited about this position? So I'm going to remove this and I'm going to say, I'm excited about this role because I am looking forward to helping out with more open source projects, specifically, that's not how you spell specifically. Specifically. Now, with this one, we kind of got an easy one here. So, we also love open source, and you will work right along with our engineers who have helped build projects like this one, right? So, I can say, specifically with this one. Now, I'm going to let you in a little secret here. I didn't look at this, so I don't know what this is. I don't know what it does. But again, if you're applying, do the research, find out what this is, and be like, okay, so this is what it's doing. I'm excited about helping to build out this portion of it. I feel to successfully contribute to this team by providing useful code reviews and sharing coding principles with my teammates. I look forward to working with groups, or with teams rather, and helping others. Now, I just added that bit in there. This part right here, you might be thinking, what are you talking about, Tiffany? I read the job description. Don't judge me, okay? So, basically, they were talking about code reviews and comfortable giving feedback to ensure high standards of code maintainability. So that's why I kind of added that in here. If I wanted to be explicit, I could say sharing code principles and maintaining the code base. I mean, you could flip this in so many ways, guys, but just make sure it's true. Don't spout lies. If you don't like doing code reviews, don't mention the code reviews. Okay, but if you genuinely like giving feedback and you're really good at that, go for it. But if not, then don't do it. I'm telling you right now. Don't lie just to get yourself seen. Like, don't do it. Highlight the best of yourself. Don't try to highlight something that's not necessarily true, okay? Now, the last bit is the most important part of this all. So, I've attached my resume for your review. I know you've already applied to the job, right? But just make it accessible. That's all you're doing, is you're saying, look, so you don't have to go back thousands of resumes in the database. Here's mine attached to this email, basically. Then after that, I'm very excited about the position to let them know, hey, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm eager about this and would like the opportunity to chat with you further. Now that's key. That's your action. At the end of every email that you send to someone and you're expecting to get something back, you must include an action. If you do not include an action, they're not going to know what to do. They don't even know that you care. They don't even care. They're just like, oh, I guess she just wanted to send an email today. So make sure to include an action. What do you want this person to do? So we're telling them, I want to chat with you further about this position. Now, at the end of this, I said, let me know your availability for a phone call. Boom. At that point, it's in their hands, and they could say, oh, well, let me scroll back up. She said she had this experience in Ruby on Rails, REST APIs. That's what we're looking for. She's even built a project. They can go to the link directly on this page. Make sure this is an actual link. Let me highlight it. That should be an actual link. If you have multiple projects that you've done, maybe list 2 or 3 or so and say, here's some examples on my GitHub or on my portfolio website, wherever these projects are listed. put those links in there. You don't want to bombard them with links, but if maybe your first one is a link about Ruby on Rails. So if you said you have skills in Ruby on Rails, you might include a link here of a project you did on Ruby on Rails. So you could flip this any way that you want to. And then again, the third one I feel like should always be one where you're relating to a person and not necessarily like, I'm a robot, I have these skills, So I think this is cool because it's like, hey, like this person is eager, they're excited, here's why they want to successfully contribute. They want to provide code reviews for us. Like they're excited about it. They have coding principles they'd like to share with us. Those are the type of things that we want on our team. So just make sure that you're doing those. So let me go back to the end. Let me know your availability for a phone call. Right then, you're providing them, you're telling them, hey, I want to talk to you on the phone. Like I want this to happen. A lot of people don't put that and they just expect someone to email them back and then you guys kind of get to playing phone tag. Well, forget all that. You want them to call you right now. Let me know when you're free. That's it. And then they could decide, hey, I got some time tomorrow. Now, then you just close it out. You can say thanks, thank you. You could sign your first name at this point because you've already introduced your full name at the top. And then if you want to be specific, you can put in a phone number here and then you could also reiterate your email there. And then don't forget to actually attach your resume. So you said that you've attached your resume. Don't forget to attach it. That's it. That's it, guys. In the simplest form, it's basically giving an introduction of who you are, what you want from this person, what you've done so far, and then, hey, here's the skills I have. Here's why I'm a human being. Like, here's why I'm ready to work with this company. Here's why I'm ready to work with this team. And then close it out with an actionable item. I'd like to speak to you on the phone. Let me know when you're available. That's providing action for the other person. And I hope this was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you have any success with this. And hey, if you have additional tips or techniques or things that you utilize in order to get people to return your emails and stuff like that, let me know. Let us all know in the comment section below. Thank you all. Give it a like if you thought it was helpful, and subscribe, please, people. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.